Welcome to Business Matters. Today's lesson will be looking at inflation and your money. Inflation and your money. Where is my money? To guide our lesson, our objectives are 1. To state what is money, what are the basic characteristics of money, explain the major functions of money, what is inflation, explain two major causes of inflation, outline the effects of inflation on the economy, and we also want to explain actions that can reduce inflation. Let us get right into it. What is money? Now, money is the commodity that is accepted by the people in a country as a medium of exchange. So when everybody or most of the people in the population agree to this particular item, yes, to use it as a means of exchanging for goods and services, we refer to that as money. Now, what are the characteristics of money? Let's go to them quickly. Acceptability. Now, money as a fee money should have the feature acceptability, which means that the people agree to use it. Okay? Most, if not all, the people agree to use that item as money. Secondly, it must be portable. So it should be easy to move around. It should not be so difficult. Right? It shouldn't be difficult to move around. It should be easy to move around. You can carry it in your pocket or so on. Money should be divisible. That means it should have the capacity to be subdivided into smaller units. That's right, you said it. Durable. Money should also be durable. That is, it can be used for a relatively long time. So you should be able to use it, have it in access and circulation for a period of time. Money also should be homogeneous. What do we mean by homogeneous? That there should be the monies should be unique and has distinguishing features. So that will make it become different from other things. So it must be unique. Each, let us say, notes or coin, but money did not start with note and coin. But today we have notes and coins. Each of the denomination have some distinguishing features that makes them homogeneous. What are the functions of money? We're going to look at least 2 or 3 of them. One, medium of exchange. Now, money can be used to purchase goods and services. So it's a medium of exchange. You can use it to access goods and services. Secondly, money is one of its other function is as a unit of account. That is, it makes it possible for units or price to be given goods and services, right? It makes it possible for units and prices to be given to goods and services, right? What we're saying is that it helps to assign value onto the goods and services. So, for example, you say a loaf of bread costs $10. You are assigning monetary value to the bread, right? So it's a unit of account. Thirdly, it stores value. What do we mean by that? Money has an ability to be put away. Yeah? So money so you have an ability to put away your money or to save the money until sometime in the future. So it retains its value, right? It must have some ability to retain its value. Now let us look at inflation then. Now, the value of money. Now, the value of money is based on the number of products it can buy. So when we say that money is important or money is valuable, it means that it has its ability to buy goods and services, or what we call purchasing power. Money has a purchasing power based on what it can buy. What is inflation? Now, this is a situation where prices are persistently rising and real value of money is declining. So inflation, and when you think about inflation, think about a balloon. When you input air into a balloon, it is said that the balloon is inflated. It gets bigger, it expands. So inflation is a situation where prices are persistently rising. Prices, like the air, it is in the balloon, it is consistently rising. And as a result of the fact that it is consistently rising, yes, real value of money is declining. Or we can say that the rapid rise in prices and real income falls, and as well the cost of living has increased. Now, what are those causes or form? What are the main causes of inflation? There are at least two of them. One, cost push inflation. Cost push inflation. In other words, there's something that is pushing up or inflating. Yes, so cost push. So the cost of production is pushing up the price of goods and services. So cost push inflation is when the overall cost of production, and what we're talking about here now, raw materials and labor, for example, rises, right? This causes the price of finished goods and services to increase. So for example, if we have an increasing in oil prices or increase in wages and salaries, then it's going to increase, it's going to raise the cost. The cost of producing the goods and services is going to go up. And when the goods and services go, the cost of goods and services go up, then the producers will want to retain their profit margin. So they are going to raise the price of the goods and services. Yes, and that now increases the cost of financing, and it also increases interest rate. Now, demand pull inflation. Now, what we say, demand pull, that means as a result of the demand that is existing in the economy for the goods and services, it is pulling up the price. It is what? Pulling up the price. So, demand pull inflation is where you have a rise in demand for goods and services due to too much money chasing few goods, and an excessive supply of money relative to the goods and services available. So you have a lot of money and you have very few goods and services, the goods and services available. So in the whole market economy, when we talk about demand and supply, when the goods is in high demand, then the price goes up. When the supply rises, then the price falls. So that's a similar concept. So demand pull inflation is really where the goods, where you have a lot of money and you have scarcity or limited goods and services. So it is a lot of money chasing few goods, so the prices of the goods and services will go up. What are some effects of inflation on the economy? One, savings in financial institutions will have less value. when savers are ready to use the funds. So it will discourage, when there is inflation, it discourages persons to save, because two things. One, because the prices of goods become so expensive, the level of disposable income will be reduced, right? The amount of money that you have, or cash flow that you have, will reduce, so you have less to save. And secondly, because the cost of money is so high, yes, because the value rather of money is changing or falling so rapidly, yes, it is not encouraging savings, because the money is not retaining its value. Yes, so when you put the money into the bank, yes, you put $100 in the bank. If inflation continues to rise, then the value and the purchasing power of your money will be lost in the future, right? So it does not encourage savings. Secondly, fixed income earners. Fixed income earners will spend more money for fewer products, right? Fixed income earners will spend more money for fewer products, thus less cash flow. So I said that earlier. So what is happening is that the prices, and that many persons, working persons, employed, middle class individuals, they have a fixed salary, right? Their salary is not moving, but the prices of goods in the supermarkets are continually to rise, and therefore they are finding that they cannot buy the amount of goods and that are services that they used to. So they are buying less goods and service with the same amount of money. When less is bought for the same money, this lowers the standard of living. Okay, so you were able to buy 10 pounds of flour, but for $1,000. Now the price of it goes up to $1,500. Yes, you can't buy 10, so you're now going to perhaps buy 5 pounds of flour. That would be equated to $1,000. So you're getting less. So when you're buying less, yes, because you cannot afford to buy all the things you need, it will lower your standard of living. Number 4, goods and services produced locally will be more expensive, right? When you have high inflation, goods and services produced locally will become more expensive. Why is that? Why is it? Because when the prices goes up, right? When the price of goods go up, what you're going to have happen is that and production costs. So when the production cost is going up, therefore it's going to cost more to produce the goods. And if the goods cost more to produce, the producer will want to get a return on their investment, so they are going to mark up the goods in terms of price, and so the final cost or price per unit to the customer will be higher. For example, if the cost of production is $1 million, yes, and the result of that is because of this cost of $1 million is because there is a rise in the cost of raw material, or the owner of the business now has to pay more wages to the workers. So their cost of production is going up. So because their cost of production is going up, in order to sustain the acquisition of the raw material to keep production going and to pay the staff, then you will have to raise the price, the unit price of the final product to the consumer. And that final price may be expensive. And if the final price is expensive and the customer cannot buy it, they are going to seek for other alternatives. So consumers will seek for cheaper foreign substitutes. All right. And the other point is that less savings in the bank has a negative effect, because the bank will now have less funds to lend to businesses to invest and improve the production. Number 6, less access to funds as well by businesses and less demand for local produce will reduce the production and in essence increase unemployment. What is that saying? It is saying that because there's not enough money for businesses to expand their production, once they are expanding production, they are going to employ more people to do work, right? And if the goods are not what they are producing, if the local goods that is being produced are not being bought by the consumer, it means that profits are not going to be made. So there's going to be a reduction in production. If there's a reduction in production, the producers cannot pay or hire more persons to work. And therefore, we have an increase in unemployment. Export will become more expensive because of increase in production costs, right? What we're saying again, export becomes more expensive because of increasing production costs. So once the production costs go up, you are going to mark up the price, and when the price is marked up, it cannot compete with international products, other similar international products. Now, we're also going to look now at the ways to reduce inflation. What are the ways that government put in place to reduce inflation? 1, central bank. Through the central bank, by using monetary policy, yes, they may increase the interest rate to attract savers, thus reduce spending. Let me explain what that is. When the central bank use the monetary policy to increase interest rate, what they're doing is attracting savers. When savers are getting more interest on their money when they save it, they'll be more inclined to put it in, because everybody wants a return on their money. So if there is more interest to be earned by saving or putting money into a savings account, then the savers or the individuals, more people are going to want to put up their money into the bank. When more people put their money into the bank, there'll be more cash flow, more money's there to use for the bank to lend. Yes, money's to lend to businesses for expansion and more production, right? So when we save more, it means we have less money to spend. So we are reducing expenditure. Second way that is used to reduce inflation, the government may use fiscal policy via tax. Yes, tax measures to mop up liquidity, to curb the inflation. Remember now, our demand pull inflation is where a lot of money is chasing few goods. So you have a lot of money in the economy. People have a lot of money, and because they have a lot of money, the price of goods go up. So what the government may do is use the measure of taxation. Yes. Increase taxes. Find a way to increase taxes to recoup or to collect some of those excess cash and liquidity in the economy, referred to as mapping. It's an economic concept they call mapping up liquidity. All right. When you pull back a lot of the resources, a lot of the excess cash in the economy, yes, therefore it will deflate the economy. Number 3 is increase local production by facilitating access to input costs at cheaper rate. Let me say that again. Increase local production by facilitating access to input costs at a cheaper rate. So what the government can do is to really put in some measures to encourage and facilitate local production. How do they do that? They may use subsidies, yes, reducing offer subsidies to different sectors and industries, and that now will reduce their cost of production and hence increase local production. All right, for example, there was a point in time in Jamaica where the production of chicken industry was really in danger of being closed down. Why? Because the foreign chickens that was coming into the country, yes, was now cheaper than what is produced locally. What did the government do? One measure is quota. They started first of all with quota. That is, limit the amount of goods that was available, right? They limited the amount of goods that were available to come into the island, the foreign chicken to come into the island. And secondly, they used tariffs by putting tax on the imported chicken. The price of the final price of the chicken will go up and make it more expensive. So that's what we mean by the government can facilitate, yes, the whole process of local production. And we're talking about input costs. So they will lower, for example, fertilizers, the price for fertilizer to do farming, or they lower certain input costs like flour, wheat, etc., so that the production of big goods now will be cheaper. All right, so next is referred to as a reduction in the rate of increase of wages and salaries. If wages and salaries continue to go up, yes, cost push inflation. Once wages go up, the cost of production will go up. When cost of production goes up, then the price of goods is going to go up. When the price of goods go up, it's inflation taking place. Yes? So if there is a control in the increase in wages and salaries, then it will reduce inflation. Price control, use of quotas and tariffs, I spoke to those earlier, may be used by the government. So these are ways that the government may use to treat with the reduction of inflation. Thank you very much. Like and share this video and click the subscribe button if you think the content is helpful to you. Thanks.